What's up, guys? Prince Sports here. Legendary Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal clapped back at LeBron James. Now, you know LeBron James been very vocal about the NBA schedule, talking about the injuries, and, basically, I'm this, I'm that. You should have listened to me. You should have did this. You should have did that. So Shaq fires back at LeBron James and was like, listen, man, there's over 40 million people that been laid off from work, okay? 40 million people laid off from work, all right? And you're complaining about playing basketball games, but you're making 200 million, okay? What most people don't even get to see, I understand where Shaq is coming from, because there's 40 million people is a lot of people to not have jobs, all because of COVID came. And for you to still have your job locked and nothing's never going to happen to it, all you have to do is go and play basketball, and you're going to make like $200 million a year. I understand that. LeBron James is a very privileged basketball player, and he lost contact with reality a little bit. That happens when you get money. You lose track of reality, and you forget about the little people. And the little people are millions of people that life is going to be really affected by it. I mean, I'm one that you could put in that category, because prior to COVID, I had the dream job that I bust my ass off and worked for, okay? As a black man in America, accomplishing things is not easy when your skin color is a little bit different. You deal with discrimination, you deal with stereotypes, and I have dealt with just about every form of discrimination that you could come across. And it's not easy. It's not easy breaking that wall down and having them pick you over somebody else that's a little lighter, fair skin. All right? And that person having a different stereotype and a different perception normally from what a black person has when it comes to perception, and being stereotyped, discriminated against. I mean, you name it, man. I've been through it all. And when I finally broke the wall and I finally got what I want, it took me longer to get what I need to get than probably somebody else that got what I could get in a matter of a year or two. But it took me longer, So that part is frustrating. And the fact that it's been taken away from you due to COVID, you feel like you got to hit the reset button again. And as far for Shaq calling out LeBron James, I got to agree with Shaq a little more. If I was in the position of LeBron, sometimes you got to know when to keep your mouth shut. Okay, LeBron puts his foot in his own mouth sometimes. And this is just another case of a guy that wants to be the center of attention. Another case of a guy that just wants you to say that, hey, you're right, you're this, you're that. LeBron never wants to take blame for anything. Neither does his apologists. You guys act like this guy walk on water, like he could do no wrong. And you got to understand something, man. He's human just like a lot of other people, We were able to call out everybody else's flaws. We were able to call out Michael Jordan for being a scumbag and having a gambling addiction, this, that, and third. Okay? Kobe being a ball hog or being selfish. All right? That's just part of being human. But whenever we criticize LeBron for his flaws, it seems like he got the Justice League to protect him. He got a lot of people to come out to his defense. And that's just 100% not credible. You got your Shannon Sharps out there that act like LeBron could do no bad. And you got to understand, everybody's human, Now, has Shaq been wrong a couple times in his life? Yeah. But in this case, I would say that he's a little right. LeBron James, man, you're kind of a little out of pocket by complaining. Just play your basketball games and go home. Just because you didn't get put in a situation where you wanted more rest so you could win another championship again, it's pointless, dog. You already got 4 championships, okay? You winning more championships is not going to enhance your legacy any more than what it already is, all right? There gets to a certain point where you're going to stay where you're at. There's no going up. There's no going down. And your career and your legacy, the narrative around you has already been built. It's not going to shake. It's just like calling Jordan a killer, or he's tough as nails. That narrative is going to stay with him, okay? And when you guys call him out and saying that he's a bully, he's this and that, all you're doing is just adding more fuel to the fire of making him being more tough. That's all you're doing, You're not hurting Michael Jordan's legacy when you sit there and say he was tough as nails and he was hard on people and he was a bully. You're making it more relevant that he was a killer, so to speak, Same way when you release videos, you got Kobe elbowing Sasha Vujacic, elbowing him in the chest and stuff like that, You're just making those guys, you're increasing their legacy when you do stuff like that, So all you guys complaining about all this nonsense, all you're doing is just adding to their legacy. That's what they wanted to be known as, and they got the reputation to be known as it. Isn't that crazy? But I got to rock with Shaq on this one, man. LeBron James, you're really not in position to be complaining about the NBA schedule. Dog, just do your job and go home, okay? Rather you win the championship or you got hurt or not, it's completely irrelevant because you're set for life. And tell that to those 40 million people that's not set for life. Tell that to everybody else that had to scratch, fight, and claw their way to get things. I understand you're rich and you live in a very different world from the common man. But let's not forget that there's another whole world out there other than your Malibu palace or your mansion on top of the Beverly Hills. There's life out there. Prince Sports out. Peace.